Hello, welcome back to Learn Economy. In this video, we are going to discuss certain questions which have been repeatedly asked in UGC NET exam. So the first question is with respect to economic planning. The question is, economic planning in India is in which list? Union list, state list, concurrent list, and none of the above, or not in the specified list. So the right answer is concurrent list. We have to understand that this list is also known as list 3, which is a list of which covers a list of 52 items in the part 11 of the Constitution of India, which would be dealing with the relationship between union and states. So economic planning is a subject matter of concurrent list. Option C, concurrent list, is the right answer. Second question, the concept of economic planning in India is derived from which country? We have to understand that when we have gone for the Constitution of India, we have it is clearly mentioned in the Constitution that we have adopted several disciplines, or we have taken several ideas from different countries. Okay, sovereignty, integrity, republic, etc. These are the ideas which are taken from different countries which have already attained independence. We have to see that economic planning in India, it is something which have taken, the idea of economic planning is taken from from the prevalence of economic planning in some country. So which country is that? The right options are USA, UK, Russia, and France. The right answer here is option C, Russia. It was from Russia that we have adopted the idea of economic planning, and very recently, not that very recently, but still we could say that recently we have replaced the planning commission with the body of with another body. So now what is existing is only Niti Aayog, not planning commission. Next question, in which year was a 20-point economic program announced for the first time? Options are 1975, 2006, 86, and 82. The right answer is 1975. We have to understand that this is a year when we have a problem of emergency in the country. It was during the time of Indira Gandhi government. It was the Indira Gandhi government that went for 20-point program. Indira Gandhi was a prime minister by then, and she has declared an emergency in the country. And that was also in 1975. In 1975, though the 22-point program was introduced, the program was restructured in 1982, and it was again restructured in 1986. And we could see that the basic objective of this 20-point program was to eradicate poverty and to improve the quality of life of the poor. Next question, planning was considered a prerequisite for balanced socio-economic development, for extending benefits of development in even manner, for focusing on removal of regional disparities, for maximizing utilization of available resources. You have to understand that all the given options all the options given here are something which is prerequisite for economic planning. Or we could say that planning is very important for attaining all these things. So the right answer is option D, all the above. Next question, you are given two statements, and after going through the statements, you have to see which of these are correct or is correct. The first statement is the second five-year plan emphasized on establishment of heavy industries. The third five-year plan, that is the second sentence, the third five-year plan aimed to achieve self-sufficiency in food grains and increase in agriculture production to meet the requirements of industry and exports. We are very much sure that the first five-year plan is something that has given focus upon agriculture sector, its productivity, production, etc. And the second five-year plan gave importance to heavy industries, and the third five-year plan is something which gave more importance to attainment of self-sufficiency in food grains. So the right answer is that option C. Both the sentences given here are right. Okay. Next question, which of the following can aid in furthering the government's objective of inclusive growth? We know that inclusive growth is something that tells that if there is any growth in the country, the benefits of that particular growth should reach each and every person of that country. No one should be excluded from attaining the benefit of that growth. The benefit of the growth should be available, it should be accessible to all the citizens of the country. That means that all the citizens should be able to receive the benefits of the development or growth or whatever it may be happening in the economy. So that is known as inclusive growth. So the question is that the options are here. I mean, the things given here are promoting self-help group, promoting micro, small and medium enterprises, and implementing the right to education. We have to see which of the following can aid in furthering of the government's objective of inclusive growth. We can see that all these things would be considered as something that would be promoting inclusive growth in the economy. So the right answer is option D, or all the above, or 1, 2 and 3. Next question, in the post-independence period, economic reforms were first introduced in India under which government? The Janata Party government of 1977, Indira Gandhi government of 1980, Rajiv Gandhi government of 1985, and P.V. Narasimha Rao government of 1990. So, when P.P. Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister, it was Manmohan Singh who was acting as the was not acting, who had taken the responsibility of the finance section in the country. He was the finance minister. During that time, India went for liberalization, privatization, globalization model, which is simply known as the LPG model, and this was a turning point in the race of Indian economy. That is something that we could surely say, because this is what changed the face of Indian economy. India became an economy which became an economy. India became an economy with a lot of connections with the rest of the world after going for this economic reforms. So it was the economic reforms that helped India to go for disinvestment policies, to reduce losses in the country. It was this that helped Indian economy to have greater consumer market or wider consumer market. So this is what actually this has changed the face of Indian economy. So the right answer of this question is P.V. Narasimha Rao government of 1990. That was when India went for the economic reforms. Next question. Consider the following statements. You are given two different statements. The LPG model of Indian economy was fully implemented in the 8th five-year plan. The 8th five-year plan envisaged an annual average growth rate of 5.6, but real growth rate was 6.8. Here both the sentences are right. We have just seen in the previous question that we have went for the LPG model in 1990s, and it was during the 8th five-year plan. We went for the same, and we have seen who were the people who became the leaders, or who became the prominent figures which led India to go for economic the LPG model. And after the LPG model, what we could see is that there was a drastic change in the Indian economy. Indian economy started developing at a greater pace. Okay, and during the 8th plan, then an annual growth rate of 5.6 was there, but the real growth rate was 6.8%. Next question, from which one of the following enshrined in the Constitution the planning of India derives as objective and social premises? Fundamental rights, fundamental duty, directive principles of state policy, and none of the above. The right answer is option C, directive principles of state policy. These are actually certain guidelines to the central government as well as to the state government for framing the laws as well as policies. This is contained in the part 4 of the Indian Constitution. These are actually not enforced enforceable by any court, but the principles laid down here are considered to be very much fundamental to the governance of a country. So for India, it is something which is very much important as far as the governance of the country is concerned. Next question. Here also you're given three different statements. The state sets broad parameters and goals for the economy. The targets to be achieved are broadly set by the state. The plan is made for the specific time period of about 15 years. You have to see which of these sentences are correct about indicative planning. Before understanding this, it's very important for you to understand the meaning of indicative planning. It is actually a form of economic planning which is implemented by the state government or the central government with an expectation to solve the problem of imperfect information in the market. This is especially seen in the mixed economies. So why the government goes for this kind of planning is that they want to increase or improve their economic performance. Okay, so there would be broad parameters set by the state and the goal for the economy, the target to be achieved, etc. All these would be set by the state. So here the right answer is option B. Only sentence 1 and 2 are right. Next question, you are given two different statements and you have to see which of these are correct. The first statement is, in the history of Indian planning, the actual growth rate of GDP has never been higher than the targeted growth rate. The second sentence is that in the first 5-year plan, the actual GDP growth rate was more than the targeted growth rate. So you have to see that only sentence 2 is correct. Sentence 1 is not correct. So the right answer is option B. Next question, again you are given three different sentences. You have to see which all are correct. Disinvestment of profit-making public sector enterprises. Actually, all these sentences are related to the LPG model of development in India. The second sentence is permitting private sectors to establish industrial units without taking a license. Third sentence is chronically sick industries were preferred to BIFR for the formulation of revival or rehabilitation plan. All the sentences given here are right. So the right option is option A, 1, 2 and 3. We have discussed a lot about LPG model. So this is something which involves disinvestment for profit making. It permits private sectors to establish their industrial units without taking a license, and also this would be helping the sick industries. Okay, these sick industries would be referred to the BIFR for their formulation of revival or rehabilitation. Next question, which of the following is not a feature of India's economic planning? Limited centralization, democratic solution, planning of imperative nature, and planning of indicative nature. Here the right answer is option C, planning of imperative nature. We have already discussed that integrative planning is something which is very much common with respect to a mixed economy. Mixed economy, we know that it is an economy where we could see both the public as well as private sectors. In the indicative planning, the private sector is neither rigidly controlled or directed to fulfill the targets and priorities of the plan. The state will be providing all the facilities to the private sector. Here under imperative planning, you can see that all the economic activities would be operated under the direction of the state. There is complete control of all the factors of production by the state, and in case of imperative planning, we cannot see any kind of sovereignty of the consumer. Next question, which of the following is true? Financial planning is important. It is more important than physical planning. Physical planning is more important than financial planning. Physical and financial planning are equally important. Physical and financial planning are complementary. We know what physical planning is. It is something that leads to allocation of resources in terms of men, materials, machinery, etc. This would be helping in the assessment of real resources, raw materials, manpower, etc. So this actually requires a fixation of physical targets with respect to the agriculture as well as industrial production. This is considered to be an overall long-term planning rather than a short-term planning. But in the case of financial planning, it is something which requires the allocation of the real resources in terms of money. So here this is mainly made to remove maladjustments between supplies and demand. This is thought to secure a balance between demands and supplies, and also this will be helping to deal with the problem of inflation, economic stability, etc. in the economy. Next, we are moving on to a question on agriculture and allied services of the Indian economy. We have to see which of the following is not included in the agriculture and allied services in the economy: fishing, forestry, logging, and food processing. The right answer is option D, food processing. So, with that, we end today's session. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more videos, and you can be a part of my Telegram group and Telegram channel to discuss your doubts. That's all for today. Thank you.